Alright, if you had watched a video I did a week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, I made a bowl. I made a bowl similar to this design right here. But what I'm making now is a vase. Now, a guy who watched my video said it would be nice to have a vase that matched the bowl. And he was looking at his home and where that might set. So I said, hey, that's not a bad idea, right? So that's what we're making. We're making this. Now, of course, this is the second time for me to make the diamond, so hopefully I get it right the first time this time. So if this is your first time here, this is not making any sense to you. So, but if you saw my last video or two, you would know what I meant. All right, so what I'm going to do now is cut these here. I got to cut it at a 40-degree angle and 1/3 of an inch strips that will later be glued up. Okay, so that's what we're doing. All right, so let's start cutting some pieces. I got to cut 3/4 of an inch. I got to cut 36 of them. So, and then you'll see what we do with them from there. And then show you what we're doing. We just flip one over. There's a chevron, right? So we're gonna make a bunch of chevrons. I'm gonna glue them up and then connect the chevrons together, and then we'll go from there, okay? So moving on to the next thing. All right, so now what I gotta do is glue all of these together. I've got a bunch of them, a bucket full over here. It's gonna take most half the day. So all I do is glue them up. You know, I line them up first to make sure that they fit well. And then I put some glue on it. Line up the lines. Take a little rag here. Okay, now I take a couple small clamps. Make sure it don't move. All right, there we go. Now, lined up pretty good. Okay. Now I just have to do that. I've done a few already, but I got to do a total of 36 of them, because each vase is going to get 18 of them. Okay. Okay. There we go. I'll keep moving on. All right, so I have all these chevrons. They've been, of course, glued together and sanded. So now what I do is I attach them to one another this way, okay, in a long row, and just glue them up that way. And then before we get to the next step, and I'll show you that in a minute. chevrons all glued together. So now what I do is run them through the drum sander. Okay. All right, so what I want to do is rip all of these down. You'll see right down the center, this line here, actually on this edge. And it should work. It's supposed to work. Hope I don't tear it up. Cut these right down the middle. Well, what I've done is I started cutting all these pieces and almost got to the end and realized I hadn't turned the camera on. I get like that. Okay, here's what I'm doing. The blade's set at 10 degrees, okay? So keep in mind, I don't know if I probably said this before because I'm doing these over about a 2-week period, but it's 18 of these pieces to make this ring, for this feature ring. So that's 10 degrees per piece, okay? And then it's 10 degrees on each side of this. Okay, so it's 180 times 2. Anyway, trust me, this is 10 degrees. I'm cutting each side, but I got to cut it just right so that the diamond's in the center, right? So I just cut that one. I'm cutting off one side first, and then I'll cut the other side. What I do is I find which diamond side is the best side, which I think this one is. I put it down. I line it up with this edge because that's where the blade is, on this edge, because it's going to cut over the top of it. Lock it down. This is the inside of the vase, okay, because of the angle of the cut. Now what I'm going to do is set this over here, and then we'll repeat the other part, but we'll use a stop block to repeat the other side, so it's exactly 1.48 of an inch wide on the widest part of the segment, okay? Like I see this one, this is kind of rough here, but this side, well, that side's kind of off too, so I have to make a judgment call here. This one's not perfect up here. I'd put the worst sides inward. I would love to say that these always come out perfect, but they don't when you're making these diamonds. So this is the better side. I'm going to put it down. go ahead and finish cutting them. Yeah. And a little bit of prayer and luck. We'll just go with prayer. All right, we're working. It's working now. Time to glue this ring up. It's kind of a slow process getting it done, but I'm outside, so you're hearing like airplanes going over, and sorry about that. Hopefully in editing I can get a lot of that out. All right. And I'm gonna do this at a piece at a time because of how it is, how the type of piece it is. Okay, what am I doing here? Just like that. Okay, duh. Normally I'll lay them all out and just glue them all at the same time, but I'm gonna do it this way. There's only 18 of them, and I want to make sure they get glued well. Alright, so what we begin doing is going to glue this base plate for the vase onto the base to this. There's going to be a waste block, right? Glue it on there, and that's going to hold it while it's being prepared and turned and everything. Many of you probably already know that, but I'm just pointing it out to folks who might be new to this. Squeeze a little bit of glue on there. Alrighty. Well, that's not working. Oh, sorry. Well, I thought I had the camera recording and I didn't, so let me just recap with you. I put another disc on here, glued it on, and because it's a double base kind of thing, line it up offset with the other one, and then I put these clamps around to hold the glue to try to get a nice tight fit. That's all I did. So unfortunately I didn't have the camera on. I often do that when I do wonderful things. All right, now it's time to start building this urn or bowl or whichever. One of them's going to be a vase, and one of them's going to be a urn. Generally going to look the same, except the urn will have a lid on that screws on the top. You know what I'm saying? So, okay.
You'll see that
Alright, here we go.
the inside of the first 4 rings
That's
have been
lined up.
turned. I forgot to turn the camera on, so that's kind of me, right? But I'll try to do better. Thanks.
Another row done. Alright, now it's the next day. I can pull this back for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and do these, clean up these rings. Let's see what I got. I know whenever you're doing inside a bowl or a vase, you really can't see much. I can barely see much. I just go by feel. Alright, so now all I gotta do is turn the inside of this portion. Then I'm gonna have to do the outer side so I could put a support on it. You'll see that when it comes. Let me turn this down a little bit. I'm gonna hit the camera. Shoot, I gotta move the camera. Sorry. Trying to find the right spot for it. There we go, try that. Well, there's that. All right, so we've seen it come off. What happened was my waste block failed. This is cherry wood. Normally it works really well to make a tenon for a waste block, because I like to use these instead of putting the waste block on this. Well, so I'm going to have to figure this out, probably. All right, to fix this, what I did is I turned it around, used Cole's jaws to hold the top of the vase, and then I brought in my tailstock to hold the bottom. And I just got to cut a new tenon. Got to remove the old and put in a new. So this time when I turn it around, I'm going to clean up the outside so I can put a steady rest on. So it won't take long. We'll get this done soon. You know, I don't like the way that's turning. I got to move this. It's not exactly where I want it. Okay. Let's see, what did I do? This has got to come down to there. I don't know if that's better or not. That's better. Okay. Not as bad. See, now, you know, I turned the inside at the bottom of the bowl, and it's not going to be as balanced, but I'm not sure how balanced it really needs to be because it's at the bottom, but all right, so we've got the steady rest on now. That should really help keep this thing in place this time. All right, that looks good. Now I'm gonna start gluing more rings on. No, you can't see this part. It's hard for me to get the camera in exactly the right place all the time. All right, now it's time to trim down 3 more rings. Just keep building. Alright, so we're getting close to the end of this vase. What I got to do now is I'm going to turn this in reverse and do this edge here. That way you'll be able to see it, and I'll be able to see it, because I also want to go on the inside and get Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to attach the last piece. Now this is our last turning. Get this shaped around here so it looks like something more than it looks. Not too bad though. So we're going to do this, round this off, but then I got to and then I'm going to round off this. So that's probably where we're at. I'll try to stay out of your way. I don't have a good spot for the camera. Alright, so we are at the home stretch, getting this thing finally finished. I've been working on this vase and another one that you're not seeing for almost 3 weeks now. Of course, I've had life happen, so what I'm doing now is I've got this 3-step system. This is Axe first step, it's called, and it's a tung oil. It's a pure virgin tung oil, and all I do is put it on. All right, so the next thing I'm doing, and one of the final things, is I'm using this paste, Axe abrasive paste, and it does a really good job. I've already put a lot of it on, then I forgot to turn the camera on, so I'm putting more on. Now I'm not doing the inside. I did the oiling on the inside, but this is just getting the outside all pretty and get it all sealed up. And then I just turn it on and just kind of polish it. It's not really a friction polish, it's just abrasive. So as it turns, it breaks down. It's like a final sanding. If you ever did any auto body work, you'll know what I mean. Wet sanding in a way. A little different, but Now we're going to do this step. We're going to take this and we're going to wipe it all over this thing. Put it all over. I like using my hand too. Then I can really feel where it needs it and where I've got it already, you know what I'm saying? I used to use a rag a lot, and it seems like more got on the rag than got on the wood. And I watch these guys that do this, make this stuff, and they do it all by hand. They put it all on by hand, so it's not going to hurt you. It's a very safe product. So let's see, this is a Canuba wax. Now with double Canuba wax, according to this. And, you know, in wood turning, we use a lot of Canuba wax for the shine. I mean, you could use lacquers and sprays, and I have done that. I just, I don't know, I prefer this. I really do prefer doing this. Get this all over this thing. This vase turned out pretty good. There's some problems with it, and we'll talk about that later when I can really show it to you. I didn't notice the problem until it was built. The diamonds I knew were a little off, and but I even made some more diamonds and they weren't very good either, so I got to work on my diamond making skills. But for the most part, they look pretty good. So, and after I got it on here, I noticed some problems with it. So I'm going to do a different method of diamond making. All right, so there's that. This time we are going to actually turn up the speed and do some serious polishing with it. Wish I had a t-shirt rag. I don't have a t-shirt rag right now. I'm not going to take mine off to use it. Maybe I do have another rag over here. What did I do with it? Here we go. It's a smaller rag. I like using small rags with this. All right. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So that puts a nice satin shine to it, and I think it looks really nice. So the last step is just to cut it off the bottom, and then prepare the bottom. And that's that. All right, now we're going to cut it off of the waste block. What I did is took a little disc with a rag, put pressure on this end so that it doesn't get away from me, which I've had a history of things getting away from me. And I'm going to cut through about 2/3 of the way, trying to be careful not to go too far, and then I'll take a saw the rest of the way. Okay. I can't see very good. See how deep I am. So I'm already about 1 inch in. This is a very sharp tool for cut off tool. I call it a cut off tool. Let's see. I'm a little paranoid because I had a problem last time. Okay, that's good. It don't take long to get down to where I need to be. This little Japanese saw here. Lock this in. And I probably could have went further, but I'm a little paranoid. If you watch the last video I made, you'll see where I threw one of these off. I think it was the bowl, matching bowl to this, if I remember right. I think I'm done. Yep. Yep, there we go. Not too bad. Now what I'll do is I'll put this, turn these things around, and I'll come back when I got everything flipped around so we can work on the bottom. All right, final step. I got this flipped around. I've got the little things that go on the Coles jaws on the inside, pressing out. Not too much. Actually, I want to turn them out a little bit more, actually. And, you know, I've got the tailstock up, holding it. So I'm just going to prepare the bottom, and then we're going to drill holes. So everything should go just fine. And just go slow, small bits at a time. That's pretty good. Little off balance, but it's not too bad. I just put it so it's just touching, so it's not letting it come off of this, right? Now we're going to drill the hole. Now this hole, of course, is for a medallion to go on there. Mind your way, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if that's deep enough yet, but I didn't want to take it off while it was running. Oh yeah, it's plenty deep enough. Holy cow, Jeff. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll put the medallion on, and then I'll show the final finale, and we'll talk about this project, okay? Well, here it is. Now for me, this has been a long road. It's been a couple weeks of work. Not constant work, because I've had other things I'm working on and life events and different things. So every chance I got back to this, but it took me a week, 2 weeks before I actually got it done. Now I'm going to work on the video after I shoot this, but here it is. Now the diamonds are in pretty good shape, but if you get up close, there are some flaws, and there's some flaws in the lines. It is what it is. Like this maple is not pure maple. This line turned out it was more of an ambrosia maple, but it looks okay. All right, it's cherry, sapele, or whatever it's called. It's darker wood. And here's the medallion in the bottom. Went in without a hitch. All right. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Ring that bell, that notification bell, and you'll know when my next video is out. I'm going to do another video of a similar piece, but it's going to be an urn. And it's actually, the pieces are all put together just to give you kind of a piece of it. Here's the feature ring for that. So it's going to be a lot different. So you might keep a watch out for that video. All right. So with that, I want to say thank you very much for sticking with me, watching this whole video. I know nowadays with the short videos, people are not, the long videos are, people frown away from them. I personally like long videos. But the shorts are very convenient, but you can't really show you much of how this is built on a short video. So I do appreciate you watching. And with that, I want to say God bless. Have a great day.